Hey guys, this is a beautiful scenery I hope can at least get your attention for about a minute and a half. I had one of the most incredible things happen to me today. I visited a church, Momentum Church in Gulf Breeze. It took place in a movie theater and it was the most relaxing seats. It was almost too good to be true. It was Bring a Friend Day, and a really good friend of mine actually brought me, and I brought another friend because God put it on my heart to invite that friend. We listened to a sermon from a guy who was out of town. It was Texas that he came from. He was a really young, down-to-earth, dress fly kind of guy, and he was just easy to relate to. And he was talking about so many things that just hit the heart today during this sermon, and it happens a lot after I haven't visited church for a while, but this time was really different. At the end of the sermon, I was listening to this really powerful quote that just kind of hit me to where like I knew something was about to happen in my life, and it was God changing my life. He was talking about when some opportunity presents itself, when something's happening in your life and you're just really reluctant to take it on full charge. You just let God be your armor and you say, this is mine, God. This is my responsibility. I'm here what the calling is, and I'm here to do it. So I was told today by the pastor, and the rest of the church was told, that our conversation, our time to say this is mine, was going to happen today. You know, a lot of times when you hear that, it doesn't happen on the timing that they ironically exclaim will happen, but today it did. I own a small coffee shop called Caffeinated A Coffee Bar. It's going to be closing here very soon. But I built the most incredible relationships. And today a woman came in who was an Uber driver, and she had something heavy on her heart that she had no idea about until, like he said in the sermon, the little things God works through will turn into big things. And she was talking to me about the importance of paying it forward. And I told her, yes, today I was at church and I actually felt really convicted of the fact that I need to start tithing. And she just went off. She was very upset. She was very, very just instinctively just upset about me even saying the word church. And when I saw that, I knew that there was something underlying, some kind of story that I didn't know. And little to be known, it was an incredible thing that happened for her today to share with me what happened to her. Because in a small town of over just 700 people up north, in I believe Illinois or one of the northern states, she had her daughter molested by a church official or a church person in the congregation. And the congregation protected that man. She was very upset. She went and did so much research. She found other victims. She was a hair salon artist, and she actually had people sit down in her chair who were the parents or the direct victims of people of pedophilia. She had a young daughter. She's now 14 years old, she says. But she feels as if, because of the fact that she couldn't prove anything and the church protected that man who had assaulted her daughter, that she just couldn't go on knowing that her daughter was going to continuously be with her perpetrator. So her daughter still to this day lives with her perpetrator and the one that caused all of this pain for this family. She actually took it upon herself to try and go against the church and go against the town, and she felt everyone turned against her and she felt crazy. And she told me that her daughter was dead to her and cried. And I said, your daughter's not dead to you, she's alive. And she said, well, it feels as if that way because I can't do anything, and I've done so much to prove that those harmful men or that harmful church, right, took it upon themselves to be protected and protect each other, even though they knew what that man had done was very wrong. I was like, well, you know that the church is the people. It's not the building. It's not the certain group of people. It's the representation of what Jesus Christ would do and sharing the love of Jesus Christ. She knew that, and she felt it in her heart that God was calling her to continue to talk with me. And little did I know, she had been saving money for a very, very long time to actually bring up public records and to send it to the right type of regulation agencies who dealt with this type of case, even if it was after court or even if it was after a time where she felt nothing was done. She was saving $1,000. And when she walked out that door, I remember sitting there thinking, God just told me, hey, go chase her down. And I didn't know what I was going to say. So I walked out the door and I said, hey, miss. And she said yes, and she was crying. She said, oh my God, immediately she just bursted out into tears. And she goes, I haven't shared my story with anyone in a very long time. People want me to tell them what's going on, and I feel incredibly happy most of the time. But today that just really hit me when you said the word church. I'm so sorry, you're an incredible person. Thank you for asking about me. And I said, listen, I just want you to have my card. I want you to know that I'm here for you. Maybe God put this kind of, situation in both of our lives today so that you could have a friend. She said, oh my God, I'd love to have your card. Thank you. She took my card and I said, listen, is there a way you can hold on a minute? I got to get something out of my car. Again, something I had no idea where it came from. And I went toward my car and I said, okay, God, what am I going to get? And I'm walking just like this and I'm pacing. And I said, what am I going to get? And it was a check. And I could feel it in my heart. It was a check. So I walked toward my car and I was sitting there thinking, well, I don't have a pen on me. And I know there's not a pen in my car. There was one in my coffee shop right behind me, but I was sitting there thinking, man, I need a pen. And that was just kind of like something I was using to stop me from writing the check. But then all of a sudden, I walked around my car and there was a pen. It may have had a cracked cap. It may have been ran over a couple times. It was probably there before I even knew it was there, but it was there. And I opened my door and I looked in the back seat and there wasn't a checkbook. I looked in my dash and there wasn't a checkbook. And finally, after scourging around, I found a checkbook. So I wrote her a check for $1,000. She had been saving and she was now an Uber driver, and she had moved to a place where she had known no one, and I had actually given her the amount that she had been trying to save up for. It was the most powerful thing in the world to see her break down and cry and say, listen, you don't know what this means to me. I was actually propositioned a couple days ago for this same amount of money to have sex with someone. And after all my daughter had been through and after everything that I've experienced, I was just so repulsed by it. Of course, I said no. And God said just to hold on, that another blessing was coming and another blessing was coming. And you didn't write me a check for $500. You didn't write me a check for $600. This is $1,000. This is exactly the amount that Satan had to try to put in my path in the beginning for me to hold on for God's blessing. I thought, oh my God, this isn't me. And she said, I know what you mean by it's not you, but it is you. And I'm like, look, I'm not the one that's telling me to do this. This is not my choosing. This is God all over it. And I want you to know that even despite everything you and your daughter have been through, you are loved and your daughter is your daughter. She is not dead. I said, you are an incredible light, and actually coming into this coffee shop today changed me and the barista who was working's life. And he's someone actually who is a really awesome understudy of mine in both real estate and in coffee. And he was just blown away by the whole experience. But I remember sitting there thinking, wow, I was just in that church this morning and I just heard that sermon that an incredible conversation would take place today. It would start little and then it would turn into something huge. He said God doesn't always put big things in your life, big decisions in your life. He puts in small, little forces of nature that turn into something huge. She walked in for a coffee and she left with a calm heart. She said she was going to call her daughter, who she said was dead to her, in her car. I believe she even did it. Said she was going to call the man that she had been with, who she had to unfortunately leave because she knew that he would never understand and that he was actually going to just kind of have a heart broken if she were to leave. And she didn't want to go through all that, but she left and she went and pursued her dreams and she went and pursued her goals over here in the beautiful Emerald Coast. And she met me, and God worked through me to show me the true meaning of the church, the true meaning of what Jesus Christ wants for us. You know, in a crazy day like this, I can only say one thing, and that is I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I was used as a medium by our beautiful Lord. I'm so thankful to be in the shoes that I get to share with you this story. It's a very powerful story. I know it's incredibly long, but it's something that you can't make up, and it just happened to me, and I am on fire. So if you are down, if you are looking at life like you are just searching for blessings and all you're getting is obstacles, just wait. God has something incredible for you. It's not coming from me, it's coming from Him. I want you to know that you are the most important thing to Him. And you, even though you are a sinner, even though I'm a sinner, even though we are unworthy, He loves you and He forgives you for everything. So if this story moved you, if this is something that you truly enjoyed, if this is something that you just want to share with somebody, please feel free to, because this is not my story. This is ours. Thanks for listening.